Tonight on Crossing the River.
We are in the Muskoka area, at an inn so well known for its ghosts, it named its main dining room Ghosts. The beautiful Bala Bay Inn is 3 stories and we have the whole place to ourselves. The perfect opportunity to look into reports of sightings of the ghost of the original owner and a phantom child.
Browning Sutton, or E.B. Sutton, was a jack of all trades. He was a musician, he was a composer, an environmentalist, and in 1912 he became a hotel owner as well when he built the Bala Bay Inn. It was the first brick hotel to be built in Bala Bay, but back then it was known as the Swastika Hotel. Even today you can still see 3 swastikas fashioned into the brickwork of the structure. Swastikas, you have to keep in mind, were recognized by many cultures originally as a symbol of good luck, and it wasn't until the events of World War II and the changing implications of the swastika that it came to take on a new meaning, and eventually the hotel had to change its name and it became Sutton Manor. E.B. Sutton was also quite a character. Aside from being a jack of all trades, he was related to the famous poet Robert Browning, after whom he was named, Ephraim Browning Sutton. He also corresponded with Charles Dickens back before E.B. moved to Canada from England. When he was in England, he also had 3 daughters, including Clara. All 3 of them, unfortunately, died due to contaminated vaccination needles. E.B. himself died in the hotel in 1917 of progressive hardening of his arteries. And at that time, his son Fred took over the building. And he continued to operate the establishment right up until the 1940s. At that time, new owners purchased the hotel, and for the first time ever in the building's history, alcohol began to be served on the premises. And it was around this time that it's alleged that the hauntings began as well. Now, the original deed that E.B. had purchased from a Mr. Burgess stipulated that alcohol would never be served on the premises, on the property. So it's suspected that maybe the hauntings could be tied to E.B.'s ghost returning and expressing his concern about this original agreement being broken. So like many century buildings, the Bala Bay Inn went through many hands over the years. In 2005, it faced the possibility of demolition by a prospective buyer. Luckily, in 2006, the current owners purchased the hotel, and they went about doing renovations and eventually opened the hotel back up to guests in mid-May of the same year.
My first year was in 2005. I came in the last, probably October, or rather August of 2005. It's been owned by a lot of different people, and I'm sure that I've heard different accounts of flying ashtrays and, you know, like just stuff that people talk about. A lot of walking of like footsteps, hearing of footsteps in the halls, closing doors, TVs being turned off. Numerous guests have come in, they've taken pictures and they've gotten the orbs. Lots and lots of orbs. I started working in the kitchen. I was hired as a kitchen manager, and so I would be working by myself a lot at night, doing night menu. And there was always this, beside me, there was always somebody, like the feeling you're being watched. And then you see like a little something out of the corner of your eyes. Noises, it's just random noises. Like things, you put something down and then you know where you put it, and then all of a sudden it's not there again, and then you go back and there it is. The little girl was on the steps. It was like very brief, and she was probably 10 or 12, just sitting there, and she was dressed, I'm guessing, what would be like early 20th century, and then she was gone, just like that. I haven't, no. She was the only one, except for the one in the kitchen. I think that may have been Rose Sutton, like who was out, because that was her kitchen essentially. I've actually never seen Mr. Sutton, but I've heard accounts of this guy walking up and down with the cane, and I haven't had the pleasure. Absolutely not. So we'll start with the kitchen. There's some activity in this kitchen.
And you said this was Rose's kitchen?
It was Rose Sutton's kitchen, yes. Working in the line, like, and normally it'd be like around closing. It would be like after it would be closing. And there was always like, she would always be standing in that area where the coffee area is.
How much is original?
I'm guessing the walls. The walls would be original. I don't even think the floor would be original.
Has anything happened in this area?
Not really, but I think that probably, like, his main concern was like the alcohol. He wanted no alcohol on his premises. And I think that's why he was so angry, and that's why he made his presence so well known, because they were like selling alcohol. The little girl was on this third step, just sitting on this third step.
And just, was she looking at you?
Yeah, she was just sitting there, and then gone. I was going, whoa. See, it was so fleeting, and so, like, it just didn't last very long. I couldn't really register how solid she was, but like, she was there, absolutely, and then gone. We can go into what's now the Lux Lounge, and I think this is where Mr. Sutton actually lived, you know, when just before his passing, because he was quite ill. So some people say that he was up in 319, but I don't see how that could possibly be because of his failing health. Why would he want to go up and down stairs? And I think that they even had to wake here for him. And if you look at this hearth, see the stones? See where these stones are missing? They were his family's birthstones. And the place was in receivership, I think, in the 70s. Mid-70s or somewhere around there, and so the place was vacant, so someone came in and vandalized it, and they removed those birthstones. So it's a shame. It's a beautiful fireplace. It's not been my experience that anything has happened here, but I've talked to people that have brought Ouija boards in, and they've gotten some pretty crazy stuff, because I don't think they like Ouija boards very much. They don't. I told them no. This is probably a very bad idea. You should not do this. But they did it anyway, and they were freaked out.
What did they say happened?
They just started moving all over and going, stop. It spelled out, just stop. Oh, a lot. I've heard angry footsteps.
Where?
On the second floor, up and down the corridors. And on this corridor, you can tell that they're angry, just stomping.
Some people think E.B. Sutton lived his last days on this floor.
I can't really see that, like, because he was his health was failing, like I said earlier, and like why would he want to climb these stairs? It doesn't make sense.
Our first vigil at Bala Bay Inn was as a group, and we held it in room 319. There's a bit of controversy about 319 in that some people believe it's where E.B. Sutton died. However, Dave, the security guard who gave us a tour that evening, sort of had the logical argument that perhaps E.B. Sutton, being sick and not very strong, wouldn't want to have to walk up and down those stairs every day, so he figures E.B. Sutton actually died on the ground floor.
So we're in room 319 at the Bala Bay Inn. This is our first vigil, and we are the only people in the hotel right now, which is pretty cool. E.B. Sutton, they're serving alcohol in your inn. How do you feel about that?
I wonder who the little girl would be that day you said
Yeah.
you saw.
Because none of the history has anything about a child dying.
Maybe it's not them at all. Maybe it's someone altogether different. Like
A
you
child.
said, you saw a little girl. Exactly. Is there anybody here? We don't know your name. That's why we keep calling for E.B. and Rose. But we'd love to talk to you too. This is your 100th anniversary of the building. Let's be proud of that.
You know who else might be here? Is the original owner of the land, Thomas Burgess. Because he was the one who wrote up the deed saying that like he never wanted alcohol served on any building at all on this property ever. And he wrote that into the deed that E.B. Sutton signed. And so the Sutton family never sold alcohol here.
That's because of this other body? I thought it was their own
No?
kind of conviction that they were really...
Well, I'm sure they agreed with it, obviously,
Well,
but yeah, it was in the good deed of sale, whatever you call it.
This could be.
So, Mr. Burgess, are you here?
I want that door to just fly open.
Mr. Sutton, we're here to see you. Would you mind making an appearance for us? If you can't show yourself, maybe do some tapping. We just heard a little tap, but that could have been anything. Something substantial. Maybe some footsteps or...
We also did a group vigil in room 312.
It's chilly in here.
It smells nice, though.
When we first opened the door to room 312, I was immediately hit with a really nice smell of flowers.
This doesn't smell like this.
And then when I went into the bathroom, it was a completely different smell. It was like tobacco smoke or something by the window.
Also, it smells like smoke in here.
What?
It smells like smoke in here. So apparently in this room there was a man staying with his family, which is weird because there's only one bed. The family went out, the man was by himself, and he stepped out on the balcony to have a cigarette, and he heard a rumbling from the room, and the door handle started to move, so he went to open the door, but it stopped, so he went back out, and then it started again, and then he ran down the fire escape. So I was just thinking that little girl ghost, you hear about people moving, and old furniture sometimes has a spirit attached to it. So if, a piece of furniture can go from one place to another with a spirit attached to it, then surely a mother and father, the spirit of a child, can travel with them. Can you turn the TV on for us?
At one point, someone mentioned something about the Paranormal Activity movie, and it seemed like a perfect opportunity for me, so I did something.
This is very Paranormal Activity.
Which means... Did you guys see the original?
No.
Yeah, I did. So you didn't even see that scene then?
No.
That Scott just reenacted so wonderfully for us.
Where they serve alcohol here at the Swastika Hotel. What?
Definitely just heard something over there. Something like that. Not that loud, loud, but no, that doesn't sound the same. Okay, well, sit back down, see what happens.
Let's talk about the bar again. We're gonna move those pictures.
Yep. We're gonna take them down off the wall and put them back in the bar where they belong.
You're gonna do that, right, Scott?
I'm gonna help do that.
Because apparently the ghostly activity slowed down when their portraits were moved out of the bar into the lobby area.
Yes. And didn't she say that happened 5 years ago when they moved it out? Or they just recently moved it and they were in the bar for 5 years?
She hasn't been here that long, and she's the one that moved them out.
Yeah, she's only been here a year, so it
okay.
could only have been within the last year.
Okay. So they must have been in there for 5 years and then she... Okay, gotcha.
Ready to go, Mitchell?
Ready to go.
Onward.
Pictures off the wall.
Yep.
Time to stir things up.
We'd heard a story when we first got there that the pictures of the original family members, the Suttons, when they were in the bar area, they had all kinds of activity. So they actually moved the pictures from there out into the main lobby. So we figured at one point, since we weren't really getting anything, that we would move the pictures back into the bar to see if we could stir up some activity.
Should we do the pictures?
Yep, absolutely.
Do you want the flashlight? Take your picture. I hope the cops don't show up because we turned off the wrong switch.
It looks like we're stealing the pictures.
Into the bar with you.
Rose. Join your husband.
Interesting that they would have them separate.
Rose.
You'd think if anything, they'd put them together there. And have
Yeah,
this
I
with
know.
this one, since this is the same person.
That's what I was thinking too.
Isn't that E.B. Sutton? That pencil?
No, that's this guy.
Oh, the son,
Son.
Fred.
Yay.
All right, Mr. Sutton. We put your pictures where they should be. We'd like to meet you if possible.
Come tell us how you feel about it. If you don't want to be in the bar, let us know. We'll put you back.
At one point, we were changing locations and we were on the second floor. And as we walked by one of the rooms, all of a sudden we heard a click. And then the door opened.
Explain.
Okay, we're just walking down the hall. And we're walking by room 210. All of a sudden you hear a click. Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah, no, it's low.
Wow, this room is messed up.
Let me
It's
see.
bizarre.
So, as far as we know, these doors should be locked. We've been told that everything was locked.
Well, like, this doorknob's not turning. So it is locked.
Oh my god.
So it shouldn't even open.
So it just kind of popped out of the catch.
Just as we were walking by.
Yeah.
And we walked by the door before.
Better check to make sure there's nobody passed out on the other side.
No bodies. Nope. Is there anyone here with us?
It's gonna flash.
What's your name? Really interesting. All right, well, let's continue our journey. What room is this again?
10.
210.
Right next to the one.
Right next to 208.
Right, yeah, where they apparently hear footsteps walking in there.
Right, all right.
Okay, that's locked now.
Now it's not opening. Interesting.
Yeah, see, they're locked.
We're heading to the Lux Lounge, formerly known as the Ghost Lounge, apparently.
So we were in the Lux Lounge, and it's supposed to be a very dark place. A lot of employees talk about feeling very negative vibes in that room, but I didn't feel any negative vibes, quite the opposite.
Okay, Scott, Michelle, and Catherine in the Lux Lounge. At one point in the Lux Lounge, it seems that Kathy was possessed by something. Where allegedly there's a woman seen in here wandering around like she's looking for something. And according to an ex-employee, he did not like this area after 10 p.m. Said he felt something negative in here.
I can't see anything.
The three of us headed into the Lux Lounge to do a group vigil, and not too much was happening paranormally speaking, but Kathy seemed to be picking up on something or other.
Did you ever see the old Get Smart show?
Yep.
Did you see the one about the ghost of the woman? I forget. They went to the cemetery to find her, and her face showed up over the gravestone. That's exactly what it was. Oh. We're great. Kathy's definitely giddy now. That's gonna make me giddy. You got the lantern. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you're not supposed to look directly into that when you turn it on.
Are you okay over there? She's possessed by a kitty ghost.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening to me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can see a little bit. Okay.
You look like you're loaded, Scotland. Oh, man. Oh, that's a neat shot. Scary hands. Ooh, who do they belong to? I don't see a body attached to the hands. Oh, it's Scott. Oh, it's the Scott monster.
Scott Monster doesn't look very impressed. I can't even see you.
There's Michelle now. Oh. With her little head. I'm laughing so hard I'm crying again. There's Michelle.
Something in the
There's her little head.
Bala Bay water. Oh, all I can see is spotlight. So back to Scott.
He's recovering from
Blindness.
Retina damage.
Oh boy.
Something was in the air. I don't know what.
The kitchen was the next place that I decided to spend some time alone. A number of claims from this area, objects being thrown through the air, people seeing things out of the corner of their eye, shadows, general feelings of uneasiness. In here.
I thought we'd sit out in the lobby and see if we can get Claire to come out.
Oh, okay.
And the bar area.
All right. See you in a bit. Rose Sutton, is this your kitchen? So if it's all right with you, I'm just going to chill here for a little while. And if you'd like to come and hang out or say hello, there are many ways you can do that. Heard a bang there. Could be just a machine kicking on. Could be something else. One thing's for sure, it's cold back here. That could be all the freezer units. Which I have to think draws a tremendous amount of power from somewhere. So there's a little bit of power here. Okay, well actually that's quite a bit of power. What I noticed right away is that the main power box for the downstairs is right there in the kitchen. There's a little alcove which joins the main kitchen to another off room. And that's what I suspect is causing a lot of the feelings of uneasiness anyways. Let's see. Oh, there's where the bubbling sound's coming from. Is anybody back here? Is anybody back here? I can't stay too much longer, so if there's anybody here and who would like to make contact or make their presence known, tap on one of these lockers or slam a door or anything. Interesting. Okay, right here I feel what was claimed in one of the books written about this place. A cold on my shoulders. Right now I'm feeling it. And I think that's just because of the triangulation of, there's two freezing units here, and there's another one over here. Alright, I'm going to leave this area, so I can
Coming
see.
up on Crossing the River.
There's something here. Would you like to sit down beside me?